forever. We believed ghosts would follow us home. I shuddered again. Why was I so jumpy? I shook off the bad vibes and squared my shoulders. Superstitions, like wives' tales, are exactly that, fabricated to instill fear. Katie lasered me with a cynical look. Hold on a sec. Aren't you the one who used to wear only white to take tests in your senior year? I grinned. That was just savvy wardrobe sense. How do you feel when a black cat crosses your path? Lucky. Liar, Katie teased. Let's end this discussion, okay? I eyed our display table, which Katie had rearranged to make room for the goodies tray. She could plate food better than anyone, but her display styling left something to be desired. Gingerly, I regrouped the cookbooks and drew the pumpkin-shaped salt shakers and pepper mills to the front. Voila! Customers started to flock to us. "Oh, how cute!" was a common phrase, and "Wow, I had no idea there were so many cookbook choices." Neither did I, until I opted to leave my advertising job in San Francisco and move home to Crystal Cove to help my aunt open a culinary bookshop and cafe. Best choice of my life. Especially now, after discovering the truth about my deceased husband and his dismal life decisions. I needed family, and I needed friends. To remain in San Francisco, alone with my memories, wouldn't have been, well, fun. I wanted to move upward and onward. Tooraloo, as my aunt would say. I love this time of year, Katie said. Because we can dress up? Katie rarely dressed simply, preferring checkers and stripes. For the fair, however, she had donned a black dress. She also wore a silver Wizard of Oz necklace. You know the one I mean, with the witch riding the broom. No, silly, Katie said, because making sweets is one of my favorite things to do. Chocolate witches, cinnamon candied apples, caramel popcorn balls, yum. Katie moved a salt shaker and ogled me, daring me to reposition it. I controlled the impulse. Hard to do. How about you? She went on. Do you like Halloween? Of course. I treasured fond memories. My mother had loved to make costumes. She would choose a theme. My sister and brother and I were her guinea pigs. One year we were indeed that, the 3 little pigs. I was the bricklayer. Another year we were characters right out of the Chronicles of Narnia. I demanded to be Lucy Pevensie, Queen of Narnia. My brother was Aslan, the sage lion. My sister was Jadis, the white witch, which was, I must admit, appropriate. Whitney could be an ice queen. What's your favorite costume ever? Katie asked. I didn't have to think long. Glinda, the Good Witch of the North. I remember that one. It was so cool. Katie and I were lifelong friends, although we took a few years off during college for bad behavior. Mine, for not keeping in touch. We reconnected a few months ago when I hired her for the position of chef at the Nook. You had a crown and wore a bubble from the top of your head to your waist. I'd looked a bit like a see-through beach ball. Fortunately, my mother possessed enough foresight to cut air holes in the bubble so I could breathe. My crown, which was coveted by my peers, glistened with jewels. Stones my mother had gathered on a local hiking trip. Don't you love this inn, by the way? Katie said. I do. It's got good vibes. Aha! So you do believe in woo-woo stuff. I cut her a wry look. No, I don't. Do too? Don't. The Crystal Cove Inn, one of the original establishments in town, was a charming bed and breakfast made of stone and wood. The grounds reminded me of an estate right out of a Jane Austen novel. Like many of the buildings in Crystal Cove, the inn was painted white and sported a red tiled roof. The hillside behind the inn boasted forests of Douglas fir, oak, and maple trees. The inn's gardens were filled with azaleas and hydrangeas, though none were in bloom in October. Nestled beneath the plants were masses of blue asters, autumn crocuses, and assorted wildflowers. Katie gestured to the crowd. Don't you adore all the witches' costumes? Everyone looks so festive. Each participant, whether at the luncheon or the fair, had been asked to wear a decorative witch hat. A pair of women in matching silver witch hats stopped by our booth to purchase a special...